Hello, my name is Mukeshawe, Bertrand, and here I'm with our guest, and we'll be talking about issues related to mental health. Yeah, so before we begin, please, would you please introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Alice Ahobanije Imanda. I'm a volunteer at Plan in the Department of SGBV, which means Sexual Gender-Based Violence.
Okay, so what do you do? I mean, like, what is your role?
Okay, as for me as a volunteer, I gather cases. So we also follow up some cases. We report to the office where they handle the case. But mostly we deal with women because women are easily vulnerable.
Okay. Would you please tell us some of the cases that you deal with?
Okay, yeah, there are a lot of cases, but just to mention few, which are also very common in the camp. We have like domestic violences, which always happens in families. Then we also have like psychology cases. These are mostly done by the survivors or victims who are affected after the incidents.
Okay, that's great. Okay, before we go far, please tell us to you what is mental health. I mean, how do you look at mental health? How would you define it?
Okay, from my own understanding, mental health is change about, okay, it's always the change of our thinking, feeling, and our acting. Yeah.
So, in terms of domestic violence, what are some of these cases? Would you tell us a little bit some of these cases related to domestic violence?
Okay, in domestic we have like physical violence, which you find like a man is beating the wife, and we also have like the man misusing the woman, mistreating her, and sometimes domestic violence can also involve the kids being mistreated, yeah, by the parents or their step parents, yeah, or anyone else.
Why do you think people, the partners in a family are still beating each other? Why do you think this kind of character is still there?
First of all, what I can say, we still have like domestic violence because most of the times those people who are acting like that, they've been affected psychologically. For example, if you are grown up in a family where there was no loving and care, from your own side, you also think that's how your life is gonna be. So, for example, let's go to these people who have been affected since their childhood. They are traumatized, being beaten by their parents. They grow up thinking that if I use a stick on my child or beat my wife, he or she will understand very fast. Yeah.
Okay, so you are saying that when they beat they beat each other in marriages, or when they beat the children, the idea is that they are trying to
correct. Yeah.
More like they are trying to
discipline. Yeah.
Okay. So do you think this is the right way to give discipline? Yeah.
No, it's not the right way, because as we are growing, our generation is changing.
Yes.
We are learning a lot. So for us to continue our generation with domestic violence, I don't think that's a good idea.
So what do you do to help?
First of all, we identify the case, we report the case, but sometimes the other cases where we see that the person is really traumatized, we have to give them the safe space for them to feel free, clear out their problems and even their fear. So from that room, there's privacy. Yeah.
So it's like you only help those partners who have been beaten and they have came to report to your office?
No, we help everyone who has a problem.
Okay.
Yeah. Whether they're children who are going through the trauma, whether it's elder people, whether men or boys, we mix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you help them now as a family? Is there any system that maybe you, let's say for example, if a husband beats a wife, and the wife maybe is seeking your assistance at your office, do you only help the wife, or there is another system whereby you also talk to the husband and all that?
Yeah, before you give any conclusion, you have to call them both, not the real cause, because sometimes the other people can't handle their anger. So you have to understand what's the cause of the problem. So we always ask the victim, what do you want? Because you can't just jump in the conclusion without knowing what the victim wants. So it's up to the victim to give us his or her idea. That's when we step in, we advise them. Yeah, because in the camp, most of people believe that when they report something, they'll destroy their resettlement, which is not true. Sometimes when you report your cases, it also helps your resettlement to go further.
Okay, so I wanted also to come back on the other side, because you said you are working on two parts. One part is about domestic violence, and another one is about psychological. Could you tell us about psychological? What exactly do you deal with in psychology?
There's a lot we do in psychological, which is like emotional damage. Yeah, I think that's where many victims or survivors seek for advice for them to move on. Yeah, for example, I'll give an example where a girl is left. She's feared to face the community due to the comments of the community or the society. Yeah, because no one will take that case lightly. Other people feel sorry, others will judge the girl. So when the person comes there, we have to handle them with care, love, and support them by giving them the chance to speak out their worries and give them the advice for them to move on.
Okay.
Yeah. So we also have like cases where girls or boys that are even scared to come and report their cases due to their parents. Sometimes a child is facing a lot of difficulties, maybe he or she is, because even boys that are left. So they are left, they're scared to come because they are scared maybe they ruin the reputation of their family. But at the end of the day, that person is suffering inside. So you find that person gets addicted to alcohol and substances, stuff like that. He or she starts isolating herself, things that are not even good for their health.
Okay, so you have cases where girls are raped, where boys are raped, though that one is a bit strange. I had no idea that boys are also raped. What are these other cases that contribute to psychological well-being?
Let's start with poverty. Poverty is the main challenge. It's one of the things that is contributing to mental well-being of anyone, youth, elder people, widows. For example, nowadays parents, they are contributing to their children into prostitution because they don't have where they can have money, get money, because the camp is growing each and every day. People are giving birth every day. And second, you're having people who are relocating from town. Those people also, because they were in town looking for a good life to educate their kids, have a better life. But now, if we see them clearly, they're also suffering the same mental issues because they've lost everything. So there are many things that they contribute to emotional damage.
Starting with poverty. Poverty, like in what ways is it contributing to this?
Poverty is playing a big role in the camp, where many girls or boys that are doing bad things for them to get money. Let's go to the side of girls. Girls that are doing prostitution just to get food, and where parents, they don't have that choice to stop them because they're finding food from that prostitution of their girls. Let's also see the side of boys. Nowadays the camp is well known now, the whole Malawi, internationally, everywhere. Now we have a lot of cases where boys that are stabbing people at night, they're stealing because they need money. They have nothing to do. So all of this, they're affecting them. So mental issue, it involves the two things, which is negative and positive. So a lot of people get to the negative one because they need things very fast.
Okay. So how do you help such people? Is there any program that which is there to help such people?
Honestly speaking, the way the camp is growing up, things that can help youth is very little. So it's also up to those people to come and seek help for their benefit, because you can't just go in the street and start forcing people. You look mad in front of everyone. So I think if we had something that could make girls and boys busy, because we know the prostitution won't end, the stealing won't end, but will decrease the rate of those bad things that is happening.